What are the expectations of your clients when they come to see you? Just like I ask myself that when I work with people and with what I do. Okay, so that is your challenge from this podcast, should you choose to accept it, is to look at the expectations of your clients, look at the expectations of yourself with your clients, and ask yourself, what do I need to change or improve or adjust? How can I ask people what their expectations are so that we're working in alignment and we're working in sync together? Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists and practitioners, responding directly to the needs of the practicing natural therapist. With interviews, herbal discussions, something business, something clinical, you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in practice. So thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe to the podcast for our episodes. If you'd like more support, get in contact, and I look forward to working with you soon. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How are you? So today I wanted to talk to you about expectations. Now, expectations, that's all sorts of things, isn't it? But what I really want to talk to you about is, what are your expectations and your clients' expectations of seeing you? So the reason this has come to mind for me is because, yes, my academy, and I always say, it's full of scripts and it's got templates in it, and you meet with me and there's everything that you need to run your business. There's CPD points for your clinical aspect as well. So it's all this one big content platform, and you meet me. If you do gold, then you get one-to-one with me. If you meet, etc. Right? That's not what I'm really talking about. What I'm talking about is the fact somebody left recently. Now, as you know, always about the follow-up, right? Always about follow your person up, what's going on with them, make sure that why they're not coming back to see you. So this person who left the academy, she'd only been in 1 month and she left the academy. And so she'll get automated emails from the platform, from Podia, saying, hey, sorry that you've gone and please come back and all of those things. But I sent a private email from my email address, Geraldine@mentoringwithgeraldine.biz, an email address you can email me on anytime. So I sent her a private and personal email from that email address saying, hey, can you explain to me why you left? Because that's going to help me to uncover and make decisions and change things, whatever. As I said, it wasn't a very long email. And I sent her a discount voucher because she paid at full price as well. So I was like, here's a discount voucher, because as you guys know, there are lots of discount vouchers floating around the cybersphere. For you guys, you write podcast in the coupon code and you'll get 10% off. So she'd left and I needed to know why. So the same thing with your clients. What are their expectations? Here I am saying there's all this content and isn't it amazing? And there's all this stuff. And her email came back saying, there is so much content, I didn't know where to start and I felt overwhelmed. Now that's fantastic for me to know, because it means that I am in the process of restructuring all the content. But it means that because it's a slow process, there's a lot of content. And while I structure that content, so I've changed things based on what she said. I've added an extra one-to-one for everyone, because you need to know where everything is. You need to know what's going on, how to get to things, where you should be starting and what's appropriate for you. So that's something that I'd missed. And because I'd asked her when she quit, so her expectations were, hopefully, yes, there was a lot of content, but when she got in there, she was like, wow, so much content. Where do I start? So for you, what are the expectations of your client? And after this podcast, what I want to see on your social media feeds is you introducing your clients to what's going on, what will happen to them when they come to an appointment. That is a post, sort of podcast. We're on the podcast. That is a post, isn't it? What it's like to enter your business. If you have a physical business, then a little video of you opening the door and welcoming them in. Have somebody walk in with a video camera with your phone as they come up the path and walk in, and you welcome them in with your hand saying welcome as you open the door. And they walk in and they sit down and you sit down in your desk. And there's your social media post. There's your reel. That way people feel more secure. They get to know you in a different way. If you're like me and you're working entirely online, then how can you introduce people? What about behind the scenes? Show them what's going on behind the scenes. If you have, like me, too much content, then it means that you have to do a bit of restructuring. after you see what you're looking at. Because I always say to you, make sure that on a regular basis, you do what your client does so you can see the systems and process for them and it's not too overwhelming for them. How easy is it for them to book that appointment? How easy is it for them to do the things they need to do? And when they see you, what are their expectations? So if you're saying it's a 90-minute appointment, but in actual fact, you're giving them 1 hour and then you're using that half an hour as research or study time for them, then you should actually explain that. Especially if you're trying to bring your times back from 90 minutes to 1 hour, because really 40 minutes is about all anyone can handle before they're exhausted. They've come to you because they're unwell. And so let's not exhaust them. We need to shrink those appointments, knowing that there are follow-up appointments. So when my clients contact me now, they have to buy a package, and I'm about to create a package to complement the academy because of what this email said from this person who quit. She said, I was overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start. So I'm now going to create a package for Academy members so that they can get me at a much cheaper price on a more regular basis. And this is all from one email, from one very short email that she wrote me. But it was a big learning for me. And I write to everyone because very few people actually quit the Academy. So I don't get that opportunity that often, or when they do, they don't necessarily reply. So it's really important that I know what's going on with them and that I can then change it for others, because chances are what she's saying is a common problem, and it is a common problem. I mean, that's why I'm restructuring the content within the Academy and trying to make it more obvious where everything is. I've been looking at other platforms to see if other platforms make it more usable and easier to understand. Maybe I need to move my platform. So I did try another platform and I changed my mind, decided it wasn't going to be as easy for me or for my members to have changed to that platform. So I quit the platform. I spent a lot of money, but I had to learn that to see how easy is this? Is this any easier than what I have now? Is this any better than what I have now? No, it's not. Might as well stick with what I've got. So when we go on these learnings for our clients and with our clients, it's to see, they need to see what we do. And we need to show them the outcomes of seeing us. So if your area is acne, then you'll be showing nice clean faces, won't you? You'll be showing, if it's weight loss, you'll be showing those before and after shots. And really, this is all because our clients are getting this one-to-one and possibly program support alongside that. So they're getting this additional support. Jenny Craig recently went under, and now there's lots of commentary. The dieting world and how awful it is. And yes, some of it is awful, but I would hope, being trained professionals that are listening to this, or soon to be trained professionals, you're going with the intellectual side, you're going with the academic side, you're going with all of the research understanding of how if people get constant and regular support, there might be a big girl or whatever, or a big boy, but they've got all the right nutrients going in. And it's not just dieting. It's not just calorie deficit and hope for the best. We're working with their hormones to support them because, of course, hormones are such a big part of weight gain and weight loss, and far more than any company has ever acknowledged. But we need the feedback. This is what this podcast is all about. Let's get that feedback and let's make sure that we're sharing so that people can then see where they're coming, see what they're about to do, see what they're about to go through, and that there's more of that available to them. Okay, so they can see, this is what her clinic looks like or his clinic looks like. This is what the space looks like. This is how I see them online. They're willing to, some people don't like Zoom. My older clients don't like Zoom, but they will do FaceTime. So, and a lot of telephone. I do a lot of actual telephone. Once I've met the person the first time, I have a lot of telephone consults with people I know well. And that's not a problem. We do need to see them on at least once a year, I think the rule is, so we can see them that one time and work through that difficulty of Zoom or work through that difficulty of whatever platform they're using. But FaceTime is great too. I mean, that's a telephone call, it's secure. So what are the expectations of your clients? What are the expectations of what they're going to get at the end of it? We're giving out these huge, I'm not, but people are giving out huge plans for the client, and they're overwhelmed by that plan, just like it overwhelmed this woman with my academy content, because there's just so much in there. There is so much content. So she was overwhelmed by it. She looked at it and she went, I don't know where to start. So I'm just going to stop. So this is a learning for me. And what learnings can you get from the expectations of your clients? And you can ask them when you see them, what expectations do you have for this appointment? What expectations do you have for working with me? Because it's really important that we know what our clients expect when they come to see us. Now, last week, we had the visualizations, didn't we? And we had those 2 extra days where I talked to you. So you had 5 days of content last week in the podcast. Now, what were your expectations at the end of that? Did you do the workbook? Did you participate in the challenge tracker so that you could see whether you'd done everything, whether you'd participated and how high you scored? I'm not announcing the winner on here because this podcast is going to stay in the podcast stream and people who come back and binge podcasts will listen to it. But they also then go back and go, I've got to start. I've got to do that 1 week's content and do those visualizations, do that work with the workbooks that are available. So what is the expectation that people have going into those visualizations? What is the expectation of the future from those visualizations? What are the expectations of your clients when they come to see you? Just like I ask myself that when I work with people and with what I do. Okay, so that is your challenge from this podcast, should you choose to accept it, is to look at the expectations of your clients, look at the expectations of yourself with your clients, and ask yourself, what do I need to change or improve or adjust? How can I ask people what their expectations are so that we're working in alignment and we're working in sync together? So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant rest of day and have a good one, and I'll catch up with you really soon. See ya. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.